YouTube, is Brian Proctor back again with another video, and this is another drawing in the series of I want to draw that picture, and this time we're doing Deadpool. Now before we get started with this, I want to address something that a few commenters asked, and they asked the question of, because I drew this picture exactly the way I see it, is that considered tracing? Well, let's clear this up right now. Tracing is when you take another piece of paper and you put it over top of that image and you draw it line for line. That's tracing. But if I took this off and I drew it from just looking at it, that's basically eye-hand coordination. That is how you draw, because when you take art classes, what they do is they set up things like flowers or vases, and they have you draw it. So basically you're looking at this object and you're translating it to paper in your style. Now that's one reason I'm using statues, because I don't want you to see somebody else's line work and then try to redo that. So when you look at a statue, you're just basically looking at the picture itself, and then you're drawing it in your style, and it's about developing your style. So no, this is not tracing, because if you do a picture of your dog or your mother or your cat or your whatever, then that would be considered tracing. You're looking at something and you're drawing it. So no, tracing is when you put a paper over that image and you draw it line for line. So now that we got that out the way, so one of my subscribers, Devil King, who says he had a lot of haters, so you can tell those haters to watch this video and then they can see what tracing is and drawing is, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. So let's go and let's do this Deadpool. All right, so now that we have that out the way, let's get into this Deadpool. And I chose this picture of this statue. This is a statue because it had a lot of twists and turns to it, and because of the gear that he's wearing, and that adds another dimension towards your drawing, which we'll get into as we get into it. So let's get started with the Deadpool. And I said on my last video we were going to pay more attention to your negative space, which is the space around the character. So we're not just going to get into the character, we're going to measure by looking at the negative space as well. So let's get started. Now the first thing I always do is this oval, which is the torso. Well, no, let's back up. The first thing I want to do is measure, have my guidelines or my border lines. So I don't want to bring the picture past these two lines, and I'll try to draw a little darker because my other video, it was a little light. You can see it, but it was a little light. I don't want to get bear down with this pencil, but let's go. So I want to, first of all, this gun is over close to the edge, so I'm going to pull my character back a little bit, but he also has a sword, and I noticed that late on in the picture. So we want to just shrink the whole picture. So the first thing I'm going to do, I have my lines, so I don't want to go out of that. I'm going to say, let's just say I want to pull it back a little bit for the hand. So this is going to be the overall size. So let's just do a rough of the shape that he's going to take. This is best you can. You know, you have that knee, you have that other knee that comes down like this. You have that hand, that gun, like that, and he's got a sword, and his head is there. So basically, I'm going to work with this size, not pretty much that shape, but that size. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my torso, and I think I'm going to try to keep this one smaller than I normally intended. So this is the torso right here, this part. Now, if you notice his front, where his chest separates, the what do you call it, the direction line, action line is over toward the right. So you want to do like this. You have the ab, or the bottom of that rib cage here. We do this line here, and if you watch my videos on doing the torso, you'll know what I'm doing. So he's leaning, so you have to remember that angle there. He's leaning that way. So the collarbone is down here. So the collarbone is right about down here. So the what? I don't know. The chest is going to be right here, and it's curved around. So now let's do the waist. We're gonna come down and then round that off where the belt would be at, and then do his hips. Now, doing that, that's the upside down house, what I always say. Now, I did that so we can do this next step. Now, it's curving around, and it's going to go straight down, almost like an S. Almost like we did this. We did the hips, and we did that's the waist, that's the hips. So he's turned, his chest is turned that way, so it's going to come around and straight down into the crotch. So if you do the pointed house, the upside down house, at that point of the roof where that line comes straight up and it twists. So the stomach's going to twist in here somewhere. So, and for some reason, when I draw fast and loose, it becomes better, but I don't want to draw too fast and too loose. So, because somebody asked me, why does he go so fast? So I want to try to slow down a little bit. So we have that shape pretty much. And he has a lot of gear on, but we're not going to worry about the gear yet. We're going to get the body down right, and then we'll put the gear on it. And gear, just like clothes, covers up a lot of mistakes, because if you can't really see the stomach or you don't know how it goes, that's okay, because you have that belt coming down. If you're not too sure about how that waist goes, that's fine, because it's covered up. And some of the leg, the chest. So that's the good thing about having clothes, doing a character with clothes on. And we'll do one later, as soon as I find one. I think I might have one, but that's later in life. So, okay, so we have this, you know, the stomach is going to come here, and it's going to curve around. It's basically going to follow this line here. So it's going to, at this bottom of this circle, it's going to stop, and it's going to curve around to follow that. And we have this one leg. Get that leg the right size, and that's just an oval that cuts off right there. And then that back leg, remembering our angles. Now here we're looking at the negative space, which I mean I'm looking at this part in here. So let's draw this leg, which has got to come down. So it's here, and then it'll be out here, and then it'll curve. So we have this curve here, that leg, and then we'll have the other leg out here like this, which that part comes down. So I'm not drawing the actual leg, I'm drawing this negative space here, which right off the bat, by doing that, I see that this foot here, let me draw this foot. This other foot actually comes down in front of this foot. So that's going to affect my negative space to try to make it look like it does. So if this is covering up this heel, so I would say about right about here, this other foot is coming down, looking at this negative space here. We have this like that little triangle. So where's that foot at? That foot is going to come around like that. And I usually don't start with the feet. I'm just concentrating on the negative space right now. And then that comes up to there. Now we'll see as I go along more. Now this, looking at this angle comes out further. See, this is so close, so it comes down about like that. So just kind of do this, get your arm used to that, and then you do this. So it's going to be out here somewhere. That's why I say I usually don't do that stuff first, but I'm looking at the negative space. And then we'll fix it in the wash. Understanding I'm not a perfect drawer. I'm pretty good, but I'm not perfect. I'm just drawing this leg in right quick to see where we're going to have to adjust. So in the foreshortening, this knee is here. This does come back like that. We have the calf that actually comes down behind this part of the leg. like that, and it comes up. And we have this, and right there we have the foot. So we could probably adjust this and pull it back some more. I have more right with this leg than I do with that, because this could come down a lot more. So we'll adjust that one. It's easier. So we have the calf, and it comes down. We have that round piece, which would be even more rounder right here, the cylinder. Then we start out with the foot. So let me do this because I have a lot of red lines going on. So we start seeing some of the heel. Flat foot. Now that makes that line come out the way it should be. So again, comes up, calf, and that knife is going to be right here. So far, so good. All right, let's do this again. And the one thing you have to do is kind of know how long your arms and your legs are going to be when you're drawing. And that comes with just drawing over and over and over again. It's just time. And that's something I continue to tell people that write to me and say, oh, you're good, I can't do that. And today I wrote to one and I said, if you ride a bicycle every day, and this is my first time getting on a bike, I could easily say the same to you, that, oh, you're pretty good. And you would say to me, that's because I ride a bike every day. Same thing with drawing. If you draw every day, in time, you'll get as good or even better. Okay, back again. Now, for those of you who have watched my videos, you know that lately I have not made a video where I have not said something about my phone or camera cutting off. And so I'll continue to say that because it just did. Okay, so for those new to this, foreshortening. If you watch my videos, you know I talk about foreshortening. This is going to be some good foreshortening in here. The way that I did that leg, for those who didn't understand, you have your rear circle and you're going to have your front circle. So with this, it's going to be like this, doing a leg that's bent. Okay, let's go back to the upside down house. And here's a leg, here's your leg, your knee, and your other leg. So let's just say we take this off, and we're just going to draw this part of the leg. So if I bent it up like that, if it's going to be up like he's climbing some steps or something, this part is going to turn into a circle. When you lift it up, it's going to come out like that, and this part is going to turn into a smaller circle as well. And then if you have him stepping, it would be like that. And I pretty much put all my pins away because they're all pretty much all dead. So it would be like this. And you have that circle that ends that cone, and you would have another here and here. And your knee, of course, would be here, and your foot would be there. Now, the more that you bend that leg, or the more that you bring it over, you lift it up and bring it over, it would be something like this. Just say you'd have that back circle. Where's my red pen? So you'd have this back circle, and then you'd have the front one here, like that. Then you would have the knee, which is going to be the circle here, and then you would have this other part there. So it would look like this. Like that circle, come to the front, you have that, which would turn into your knee, and then you'd have this. And I just put his foot out there just for the fun of it, like that. So if you're going to have that, do the house again, upside down house. If you're going to have it straight in front of you, you're going to have it like this. And then maybe the knee would be in the center. Let's just say it's going to be straight in the center, right here. And then the other half will come down like this. So how would it be if I cross the leg? If I cross his legs, it would be like this. And I believe it would be over here. Should be like this, this, and that. And then the foot would be somewhere like that. I don't know why it's hard to cross a leg right now. Forget I even mentioned that. I know how to do it. It's just right now I can't see it. So anyway, it'd be like that. Your knee here, and your calf, and like that. And then that would be your waist, your hip, your whatever. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. We're losing it. Like that. Knee down like that. Yeah, so his foot will be on a box because it's up like that. Did I just draw on my paper? I did. Oh well. We'll pretend that never happened. So yeah, that's foreshortening. So you have this comes up. The other one would be here like that. Your knee and then coming down. This is not good. Maybe I'll draw some background to it. Just takes the wind out of my sail. All right, so we have that. You know, you have your love handle here. It's gonna have a belt here. Let's work with that. This is pretty much good. We're gonna turn it right here. We're gonna turn the chest here. We're gonna go down. Let's find out where that neck is. So that neck is gonna be definitely gonna be here. When you do this, try not to draw on my paper again. You have this. You have your collarbone, which goes into your delt, and your hand comes out here. So where this line and this line intersect, that's where your neck is going to go. You form that V, and your neck is going to go inside that V like this, like that, and then your head is going to be here. So you have your collarbone comes up, your shoulder, collarbone, shoulder, other delt. So if I had my hand back here like this, it would look like this. You have your neck that comes down into that point, shoulder, delt, arm, your chest curving around right there, curving up. This goes into the delt here, collarbone, collarbone, shoulder, arm, arm, other arm. So we have this. This is where the collarbone is for him. So it's curving around kind of like that, which is that. The actually it curves up this way under the this little strap. I had to check see if my phone was still on. So it's going to curve up here, which is going to put that delt right here. But we're worried about the neck. So the neck is going to be in that V, and it's going to stay on this line. Dark pencil. You have a shoulder here. You have that direction line, so that V would be here. It would go to the top of each line here. So his neck is going to be or in this circle here. So because his head is tilted, we're going to tilt the head. And the last one, when I did the Wolverine, I made the head too big because I did not follow the rules. And the rule is, before you ink, walk away from your picture for a while, come back and see if everything is right. So because of my angle that I'm sitting on at, so as not to block the view of the camera, I might not be able to see as much as I'm supposed to see. Or I'm not being able to see properly, put it that way. So right here we have a little of his delt. That's going to kind of come out of his jaw. As you see right here, if it comes across, it comes right across his jawline. And his hand is behind him, and then that sword comes out. And we'll puff him up a little bit more, give him a little more muscle. Right now we want to get the basic structure going so that we can, when we put his gear on, it'll be right. The body will be right. So we have that. We have this foot. This has to come up a little bit more. We're not doing detail yet. I'm going to do detail in the when I ink, doing the speed. He has a heel, and notice, yes, I'm jumping from piece to piece. And a heel is just following the contours of the foot. That's all. He has a heel back here, so let's see this. This is straight. Never draw dark, never bear down too dark, because you have to erase over and over again, unless you are a master. And if you are, you wouldn't be watching this. So, yeah. Okay, so have I been hiding from his arm? I think I might have been hiding from that arm. I'm just trying to get everything else straight so I can get the arm. So, back to red. Collarbone comes up in here, so, and a lot of times I'll notice that I'll make my shoulders too narrow for superhero, so I'm going to bring his out just a little bit more. So that stop right here is I'm extending it. So let's just go ahead and do this circle. So we have this separation, which goes into the chest, because it's at an angle like this. The deltoid muscle, and that's what this part is called. This part right here is the deltoid, your bicep, your tricep here, and I don't know what this is called yet, but one day I will know. So basically, when your collarbone comes and it actually dips down and it separates, one comes in further and one goes out further. One comes in and one goes out. So it'd be like you have one here and one there, like that. And there's another separation in the back. So it actually goes behind your back. So there's three heads, this one, and this one. And they come down to kind of almost shape a heart or a clover, like the clover from the card game. And then your bicep comes out from here, separates here, and your tricep usually comes a little further back and separates from there. So you have that. And then there's a muscle between that separates the two of them, and then it separates again right here, going into your forearm, like that. And then you have your elbow that actually between these two, and then it comes around like that into your hand. You can understand any of that. So back again with this. So we're going to do, we have this separated here, and this is still in the black. So this is further out. And then you have your bicep here. Now what's going to happen is the gun. We have to worry about the gun angle to get that arm right. So already I'm thinking this is too low. But this part of the arm does come up. You have the bicep, you have this down here, and you have that. So let's work on the gun hand. Well, let's see what I have first. Let's kind of put it where I think it goes. So, because I knew that was an important part of the picture, is that gun. So that gun is going to determine whether or not something is off or not. So by doing this, you said the gun comes like right across the nose. So if his nose is there, that gun has to be right there somewhere. So that gun has to be, where does that nose go? Let's just say that gun has to be about right here. So what I want to do right now is just draw kind of a box for the gun, like that. Also, we have a sword here. Now see that sword, so that means his head has to go over, because we have a sword, this much sword. If you see all of this sword right on the side of his head. So if his head is here, like this sword is here. Granted, that other sword is here. So I think it is right so far. It is right, because that sword is on his shoulder. And that other sword comes off of his delt. So far so good. I'm looking at my negative space, And that other sword also comes right in front of that gun. So if we do that, now see, this is getting trying to be too perfect, but I want you guys to be able to see Is this a curve? It could be a curve, but this one is higher. So if I did a curve, this one is still higher. So, but I want you guys to be able to see, as I said, this is eye-hand coordination. And the hand, the finger, wow. Okay, right there. That finger goes across that thumb. And that trigger finger right there. The other fingers right here. And this is a kind of a neat looking statue. I don't know who made this statue, but it's kind of neat. The more I stare at it, the more I kind of like it. I'm not a great Deadpool fan, but I guess drawing it, I kind of like it. Maybe too rich for my blood. Looking at it, I think I'm going to pull that gun back a little further and move that hand back a little further, or move that hand up a little further. But it's still on that sword. Maybe it's just too big. Okay, let's just do this. Are you still on phone? Yes, you are. Okay, thumb, back of the thumb, back of the hand, back of the thumb, butt of the gun. What does he have right here? What is that? Is that a wristband? But let's just say this goes down, and this comes down like that. The bicep, there's no room for the bicep. It's kind of like this. With this. And then this. And all the while I'm looking at my placements. So this, there, this is here, and that comes down and up. Yeah, that's weird. That is very weird. This is why I use 2 colors or 3 colors to keep my line, keep up with what lines I'm doing. I only break out the second color when I get really screwed up. And then when I break out the third color, you know that it's really going bad. Because his lat would be down here somewhere, and that is kind of out there. Twist. So let's do this. Let's not worry about the detail for now. But I want to get this hand where it is and where it is right. This is at this time you should walk away. You walk away from your picture and you come back and you say, oh, I see it now, I got it. Because you're frustrated. Your eye knows something's not right, or your brain knows something's not right, but it's not translating to your eyes. If you understand what I'm saying. So this is that. That is this. Like that. Something still doesn't look right to me. Maybe you see it right, maybe it's me. So what I will do is I will actually walk away from this now, and I will come back and I will look at it, and I will tell you exactly what's wrong with it. All right, I'm back, and I did a little something while I was away. I kept going back and forth looking at it, and right off the bat, I know that his head is not tilted enough. I mean, that's a given. I know that, and you see I broke out the blue pencil. So I'm going to tilt that head a little bit more and work with the swords, because I'm going to focus more on my negative space so that I can get some of that positive space right. So as I said, let me jump back to the red. His head is tilted a lot, like that. So provided I don't make it too big. And like I said, this shoulder is coming like around his jawline. Like that. So it's going to be, his head's going to be like this. His neck, because he's going to have that, he has that big collar right here. So that's fairly good. Now, when I look at this sword, the sword comes off of his head and it goes down and it's right into his belt. So the way this was, if I brought the sword down, it'll be way out here. So that's definitely too far off, because if you look at this little piece like that, and the arm still plagues me a little bit, but just let's do this. Let's bring this down. And work with that, because this is coming off almost the edge of that bicep, like about right here. And that to me is way too much. So I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to put it kind of where I know it would go, right there. It's very close. But this sword, since the head is here, the sword is going to go down like about, let's do the inner part of the sword, because it comes off of the head. So this comes down to about right, maybe a little bit more out, about right there. Now hopefully you can see this blue. The other one, and I think it's the hand that's throwing me off. This could be a little more straighter, but I mean, it's almost on the money for me from what I'm seeing this when I corrected it, because he has a little, this right here, this turn right here, but it has another separate little lump right here. That threw me off with his tomato orange colored suit. So I'm thinking the head looks good. The ear, jawline. The neck is down like this. It has a strap here, which covers some of the delt. And the strap goes all the way around. But we're not going to worry about the straps yet. This hand, I think this hand needs to do something. It needs to be right. Let's draw the hand and put the gun in the hand and see how that stands. How that's going to work for you. I'd rather cheat and adjust the sword than cheat and adjust the hand. So this is his wrist. So his hand is going to go here. Here. This is his palm. This is the thumb. A little darker, please. It's going to go up, over, and down like that. And then that finger is going to come about right here. The other two at an angle. But at this point, you put the gun in his hand. And let's do the gun blue. Now let's do it in pencil. So it's going to come like this, like that, and it's up at an angle. Too high. And as I said, this is eye-hand coordination, to be able to see what you're doing, and then being able to have your hand, I don't want to say translate it, but until I can think of the word, you want to have your hand translate what you're seeing to paper, not tracing. This is not tracing. I'm just recreating the image in my style. And that helps you to develop your style by not doing someone else's drawing line for line. You tend to develop your own style, or you will develop your own style. Knowing that this gun is not square, the gun is square. Let me adjust my paper, because when I draw, I always turn my paper. Trying to keep it in focus because I can't see the angle that I'm filming. I have to just jump up every now and then to make sure it's still in focus. That was really close. Tip the gun up just a little bit more. Being picky now. Up a little bit more. That sword is still in a good position. Why are you spinning? I don't know. Shorten the gun because it is in perspective, so I will shorten it to about right there. Maybe make it a little longer. It comes down into the wrist. Like so. So I can adjust that sword. And I'm thinking that is probably it. Now add the gear, and then the rest could be done in the speed inking drawing process, knowing that the fingers twist about right here and they come in, and then you have that other part, that other joint, like that. This is why I don't do pencil, because pencil gets really dark when you continue to go over your lines. Unlike the red lays pretty nicely, the red pencil. And this finger is tilted down more. It's definitely that gun. That gun needs to angle itself a little bit more. But I'm not going to bore you with the little details. That's going to be done in the wash. What I want to do is put the gear on them. Much better. I'll adjust that hand. Put the gear on them. Put them on some kind of background. And then, all right, so we got that, and I'm going to do a lot of it in ink. I'm going to black. Most of it's going to be black. I'm not even going to try to do a lot of detail in there. So, not knowing his suit completely, I'm going to assume it goes down like this, comes across the chest like this, in below the chest. Oh, here's the chest. This is the chest right here. So that comes right like at the chest, and then in at the stomach, down, comes to a point right here, in, and then a twist with his body. And you're not going to be able to see the rest. take it right there, and as I said, I'm gonna assume it goes in. Don't hate me, Deadpool fans. I could actually look it up, but for the sake of time, and we're gonna have this little collar, this little doggy collar. Goes around. And you still see some of his neck right there. He has this circle, which is, I am assuming, right in the center of his chest. And as I said, I'm going to do the speed drawing with the detail. So I just want to get the basics of the basics. So we have that going around, curving around, like this. This other piece is coming right above this delt, coming down to the circle. And it needs to follow the contour of the body. Like that. And we've got one that goes right into the center where he has his Deadpool belt. I think that's a neat logo. The face right here, which could be pretty bigger. Split it, split it. That. So we've got that coming around from the center and twisting down into this. There's a buckle down there. And then, wow, so that's a lot bigger. Okay, so we can do this leg. I'm looking at the size of this compared to the room I have here. I'm sure he's got some stuff here which I have to figure out, but that buckle's gonna be a lot bigger. That leg should be a lot bigger. Bring the leg up, in, and you just would have to just know the shape of the legs to be able to do something like this. It comes out, make the legs a little fatter. Out, in, small. Now let's make this a little bigger. Hey, that takes care of it now. So we don't have that much room there, but he does have some stuff there, which is it's like a belt buckle, and that's going to come over more. And then whatever he has here, I'll just draw that in. I have no idea what that is right off the bat. So I'm assuming that's going to come straight down here. Like I said, I'm not a big Deadpool fan. I like Deadpool, but I'm not a big fan. I like him because of his costume. I like dark costumes. Yes, he's got that bright tomato orange, but it's still got the black in it, but it's a cool costume. So, and I believe he has band here, which you can't see too much because of the gun. We can't see that. We got the knee. It comes up, down to the knee, curves out, and in. We've got the other calf. So we've got that ring around his ankle. Straight down and around. We've got the other one, rounding it off. And straps and belt buckles and stuff like that. That's why I like Snake Eyes. I like Snake Eyes. Dark uniform, a lot of gadgets. I guess probably why I like Batman as well. But I'm also a Black Bolt fan. The dark uniform, the gadgets, and the quiet character, personality. I like, those are the characters that I like. So it would be Snake Eyes first, Batman, Black Bolt. My favorite three. So, okay, so he's got the belt. Let's just draw the belt itself. It's going to curve around. He's got 1, 2, and the third one in the back. So just a square for now. 1, 2. Okay, let's get blue. So just doing a square. 1, 2, and the third one is off of his back, coming out like that. And 3, and it's a flat, and I'll work on that later. So we have that. We have a grenade right here. You have that already. You have something that's down in here. Let's do the straps on his leg. I think that's one of the things that's down there. Strap, let's do the knife. It's a knife, knife, knife. The knife is covering the calf a little bit. Goes down past his leg. It's out more here. That's close to his crotch, so it's this because it's a double knife. Square that off like that. And then split it in half. You have a knife and another knife. All subject to change. So, why does this strap come around his knee? Oh, okay, so the thing is on his calf. I got it. The way it looked like it was strapped here and around his knee. So even at that, strapped here, here, and then another one here, goes up, and here. Take your straps off of your leg, because it does go around, and this is the little gun. Somehow, I'm just doing the shape of it. Right there, we have that. So we have the buckle here. We have this piece here. Don't let me down, blue pencil. Piece here. We have another piece, 2 pieces actually. One right under the circle, and one right under that. Which means this one has to come way down, about right here. As I say, in ink. Straps. So here we have this holster. It'll be about right there. A strap here. And a strap here. Buckle. It's about right there. Buckle. And as I say, I hope you can see the what's going on. You have something over here, and you have another piece of probably this pouch right here. Let's work on the face because it's not Deadpool without a face. I should put his little piece of his hand here and then do the sword, but that would kind of be cheating. I could, but no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have the sword coming out right at the top of this buckle here. Sword is coming out at that silver piece, which is right here. So it's going to be like that. Face. Do red because it's easier to erase in red. So if my eyes were here, and one eye squinching more than the other, should sharpen my pencil. And one eye is open more. It's the Deadpool trade. And then you would have this coming around and down, and this same thing coming down and around. course, he is making an evil grimace look. And I'll do that in the wash. So we have that ear here. Ear. This one, his face is more rounded. As I said, because my pencil is not really sharp, I can't do detail. But as I said, I'll do it in the fast motion. You have the little face mask thing. So wristbands, nothing here, nothing there. Sword, another sword, piece of sword. I'll do that in the wash, as I call it. When I do my stuff, fix that gun a little bit more, and let's just put them on a pedestal, some type of pedestal. Just for now. But you know me, I always try to do background, some kind of background to put the people in. So, thinking that is the hard part, let's do some of this silver a little bit. These little silver clips, I guess. This one is above, so this is like right here. So as I say, that's pretty much the hard part, doing the body, and the rest is inking. And yeah. Let's go now and then see what kind of mess I can create of this, unmess I can create out of this mess. So let's do it. All right, so this is gonna be the last touch up before I start the ink. And one thing I did notice as I walked away and had dinner and watched a little bit of TV is this needs to be rounded more. So he's kind of like looking down, and give him that looking down look. This is definitely off. I'm going to shorten this a little bit and lift the arm up, and then kind of change the angle of this, and then bring the gun over a little bit. So I'm going to do that and then ink it, but I don't want you guys to have to waste time in seeing that. So I'm just going to fast motion the rest of it because we pretty much have it all right. So just sit back and enjoy the show, and hopefully this one. All right. And here we are with the end result. Now, I went all out on the background because this is Deadpool. I couldn't just leave him on a little round pedestal, so I had to, you know, put a nice little background out there with it. So I hope you guys did pick up a few tricks. It was a long drawing, but I learned a couple things as well. So with that being said, as I always say, subscribe. Give me a like. Tell a friend, of course. Tell a friend so I can grow my channel. And yeah, I will see you guys at the next video drawing session. All right. Peace out.